Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we have Tayleen's summer skin. We have Daemia. Dude, I don't know how to say his name. I gotta wait to hear someone say it. But it was just funny. I got 3 messages within like 5 minutes of her dropping from people saying, "Is this a Tayleen skin?" I think it's different enough. She's got wings. I feel like this is like fusion. I feel like it's fusion between Tayleen and Flora. Let me know if that's fair, but like it looks like Flora, like that is Flora's pose. Like that's the vibe I get. I get Flora crossed with Tayleen, and you end up with the name that I can't say. I will listen, I will figure out how to say it, and I will try and say it properly in the future. But at the moment, and I mean, her wings look cool when she flaps them up like that. I really do like it. I think she's got a wicked design. I really like this character. Plus she's a mage. She buffs. I feel like she's going to be meta just based off the numbers of the buffs, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll get into it. Another one with pretty long skill descriptions. You know, they just love torturing me when I try and read these bloody things. All right. So let's kick it off with the ultimate. Floral Shade. She creates a lush shade for 10 seconds and dispels most of the negative effects suffered by all allies and enemies. So she's cleansing your allies and your enemies with this one by the sounds of it. During this time, they, being allies and enemies the way I read this, are unable to recover health, damage dealt is increased by 100%, and health cannot become less than 20% from direct damage. So I believe that's everyone on the battlefield starts dealing extra damage, can't be healed, but can't be lowered below 20% from direct damage. Now, indirect damage, I don't know what's exactly classified as indirect damage in the game. Would that be like dot damage and stuff like that? There's some debuffs, like Thorin's debuff. I don't think that's direct damage. I'm not too sure exactly. Maybe this has great synergy with Thorin because he puts his curse on someone and then just like basically wipes them out through this. I don't know. That's just the thought that I have. It was the first one that came to mind. We've got Spearboy with his dots as well, but maybe Verk with poisons. I don't know if dot damage is considered direct damage, but I digress. But after these effects do not work on the bosses. So what I'm assuming happens here, that when it says that with bosses, like your allies still get the damage increase and they can't recover, but the boss doesn't get the damage increase and the lack recovery. I believe that is what I'm reading there. After Lush Shade ends, she removes her control effects and swings her staff, dealing damage for 300% of her attack rating to all enemies. After Lush Shade has ended for 5 seconds, she can use her ultimate once again. I believe that means when her ult ends, even if she's got full energy, she can't ult for 5 seconds. So it's got like a 5-second cooldown period between when it ends and when you can start the next one. And we'll look at the skill up to see how that works. When Lush Shade ends, she restores the health of all allies possessing Dewy Nectar, which we'll look at in a sec, for 280% of her attack rating. Then at level 3, any excess energy, she will... any excess energy of hers, I'm trying not to say her name, will increase the crit damage amplification with every 1 energy point, boosting the crit damage amplification by 0.1 points up to 50 points. This carries on until the next time she uses her ultimate. So like I said, she uses her ultimate, maybe she's at full energy and she can't use it again for 5 seconds. So wherever her energy ends up after that, every point above gives her some crit damage. Essentially it. Okay, hopefully we got through that one. Hopefully that made some sense. Shit, I'm struggling already. Days of Bloom. Another ability that's 2 abilities in one. They love it. Passive. Every 8 seconds, she grants Dewy Nectar to all allied heroes within her half of the battlefield for 10 seconds. This effect cannot be stacked. So basically, ideally, if she's not being controlled, that's 100% uptime, essentially, but she refreshes it every 8 seconds, which is an important thing to note when we look at her signature item. Every 8 seconds, you're going to get a stack of it, as long as you're in her side of the battlefield. Active. She unleashes a flurry of petals, dealing damage equal to 200% of her attack rating to all enemies. If she uses, if used actively while Lush Shade, which is the ultimate thing, If used actively while Lush Shade is active, this skill additionally restores 200 energy points for heroes possessing Dewy Nectar. Keeping in mind, she does this every 8 seconds, so they've probably got it. So it's a really nice energy recovery on that one. Skill ups. Let's look at the skill ups. When Torrid Winds is active, the skill will when Torrid Winds is active, this skill, when used actively, will summon a gust of strong wind, dealing damage equal to 200% of her attack rating to all enemies 3 times. And this is the Torrid Winds. It's the next ability we're going to look at. She just has a bunch of like on-field abilities that just like float around, buffing / debuffing. We'll get into it. It's a very interesting playstyle. All right, level 3. When Blazing Sun is active, which is her final ability, this skill, when used actively, will cast spells continuously to intensify the sunlight, damaging the health of all enemies for 100% of her attack rating every 1 second. There's a lot of damage involved in this thing. The health lost increases with time, up to 200% and until the end of the current Blazing Sun. Dude, this is so long for a single skill up. When Torrid Winds and Blazing Sun are both active, a gust of strong wind will be summoned for every 3 seconds the spells are being cast, dealing damage equal to 200% of her attack rating to all enemies 3 times. There's a lot in this. And then, at the start of battle, she grants a Dewy Nectar to all allies within her side of the battlefield. So that's your first stack. There's a lot in those skill ups. Let's keep going. So let's recap. Let's do 2 skill recap. This one, she puts the shade out, cleanses everyone, makes them not be able to receive healing, increases their damage by 100%, but won't let them drop below 20% with direct damage. And then when it ends, she removes her control effects and deals damage. And then it's got a 5-second cooldown. Essentially the basics. This one, at the start of battle, she's going to apply a buff to all allies. Then every 8 seconds, she's going to apply it again. Provided she's not CC'd, it will have 100% uptime as far as I understand it. Then when used actively, she's going to just deal a ton of damage. And then when the other things are on, she's going to deal a ton more damage. I hope that's pretty good. I feel like that was a pretty good summary. All right, moving on to Scorching Monsoon. Creates a Torrid Wind that lasts for 10 seconds. While Torrid Wind is active, each time an enemy takes damage, increase the damage it suffers subsequently by 3%, and this effect can be stacked up to 8 times. It goes up to 5% and can be stacked up to 10 times. Oh, no. Give me a sec. This effect can be stacked up to 8 times here until Torrid Wind ends and cannot be dispelled. This skill will not be used again if it's already on the battlefield. So skill up 1. The increase factor for received damage increases to 5%. Done. While Torrid Wind is active, an enemy loses 100 energy points for every cumulative 10 times they have taken damage. Sorry, I got the stacks wrong. It is only 8 stacks, but it can be 5%, so it can go up to 40%, but then they're going to lose extra energy every 10 times they take an instance of damage. So I'm trying to think of things that go on the field that just deal tons of like damage, maybe like the Sandstorm from Chicken or something like that. I'm just off the top of my head. Anyway, 30 Engraving. When an ally possesses Dewy Nectar, which is the one from her second skill, which they start with at the start of the battle, deals damage. When an ally possessing Dewy Nectar deals damage during Torrid Wind's activation period, I just reworded that because I messed up, she summons a wind blade, dealing additional damage for 150% of her attack rating to the target who has been damaged by the ally possessed by Dewy Nectar. Basically, if they're possessed by it, they hit something, they do extra damage. I'm just going to leave it there. This is just getting too big for me. This one. This is kind of like the last ability, but it's a one that debuffs the enemies. She creates a Blazing Sun that lasts for 10 seconds. While Blazing Sun is active, each time an enemy deals damage, reduces their damage output by 3%. This effect can stack up to 8 times. This lasts until Blazing Sun ends. This effect cannot be dispelled. This skill will not be used again if Blazing Sun is present. It's pretty much the exact same as this one, but it's a different effect. And then the damage the enemy deals is reduced by 5% each time they attack, so you can get a 40% reduction. For every cumulative 10 times an enemy has dealt damage during Blazing Sun, they become stunned for 5 seconds. we got some CC. While Blazing Sun is active, this is 60 engraving, the tenacity of all allies possessing Dewy Nectar is increased by 30 points. There we go. We just got through the base skills and I've been recording for 9 minutes. Holy shit. Let's go on to the next one. All right. Dude, I am struggling here. The signature item skill, Sultry Season. Once allies have received Dewy Nectar a cumulative 2 times, their attack rating is permanently increased by 15%. Keeping in mind they start the battle with 1, so that's 1, and so it's the first time she casts it, they get this. Once the ally has received Dewy Nectar a cumulative 4 times, their attack rating is permanently increased by 30%. 4 times is going to be another 2 times past that, keeping in mind she casts it every 8 seconds. That's what we're looking at. And then we get once allies have received Dewy Nectar a cumulative 6 times, their attack rating is permanently increased by 50 points. 50% points. I think it's just supposed to be 50%. I don't know why it says points on the end. Then at level 30, damage dealt by enemies within her half of the battlefield to allies possessing Dewy Nectar, which they should possess all the time, is reduced by 50%. Just a flat 50% mitigation on your side of the field. It ain't too bad. Maybe pair it with Sophia and get like the compounding effects of the pyramid. I don't know. Just talking. And we also got that beast with the shieldy thing. I feel like you get some solid damage mitigation up. Like a star and... well, people will think of things. I'm just spitballing. All right, furniture. 3, increases the initial duration of Torrid Winds and Blazing Sun to 15 seconds. Not too bad. Means you can stack those debuffs on the enemies much better. So that's pretty good, to be honest. Torrid Winds is created at the start of battle, and Torrid Winds is this one here, which is increasing the damage that enemies receive. So that's essentially what we're looking at. Let's go take a look. Dude, that took forever. I apologize, guys. I apologize. I tried my best. 1 time speed. All right, so wait for the windy winds. So they all start with that the buff, the Dewy Nectar or whatever it was called. So here's the winds one. There's the Torrid Winds. As you can see, she's doing the pulsing. That's the ult, which is the field, and the sun should be up now, but we can't. Yeah, you can see the sun glaring down. So we've got the sun glaring down. We've got the winds going. Wait, the winds have stopped. The sun stopped. Where is it all? There's the winds. Wait for the sun. The sun always comes up during the ult. Ready for it? Ready for it? It's going to come. It's going to come. Any minute now. Any minute. Where's the sun? Wow, there is a bit of time in between the sun coming out. Where's the sun? There's the winds. Am I not seeing the sun? There it is. Just came out now. So that seemed a bit weird on the timing. But anyway, you guys get the gist. Let's jump into a battle and take a look. I feel like there's a lot of damage multipliers, like additional damage multipliers and buffs in this. Oh, I like this background. So we'll put her on the background. We want things that stay on our side. So we don't want knockbacks with you. We don't want knockbacks with you. Olna's fine. Who else can we put in the front row? I guess we put twins. We put you there. We put you there. Let's see what happens. We'll leave on 1 time speed. Take a look. So there goes the ult already. We've got the sun out. We've got the winds going. Yeah, I think she's pretty much melted everything. Keep in mind, while this is up, things aren't supposed to be able to drop below 20% from direct damage. So there's obviously other damage. I'm really curious to know what's actually considered direct damage. But that is a quick look at her. I think she's going to be good, guys. I think she's going to be good. That is the feel I get. Let me know what you think. But honestly, like, the buffs and the increased damage plus the damage mitigation, when you look at basically allies on your side of the field getting 50% less damage, and enemies getting their damage dealt reduced by up to 40%, and then you get like all this damage increase, plus you get a 50% attack increase, plus all the damage multipliers she brings, plus you get 100% damage increase. I feel like there's got to be something there that's like, I feel like Cursed Realm, 100% she's going to be like best in slot for a bunch of teams. I'm probably wrong. Let's face it. Just we'll find out. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.